say something. So I look at these contactors, but right, but there's the three that I'm looking at right now that I pay attention to what's going on with those three. You have Hassan Piker. He's able to avoid it for now, right? And now he's in a bad spot with the government, the US government, with both Democrats and Republicans. He is in a very bad spot, right? But apparently, we already know this, right? If some of you didn't see this, Denims is lending Frogan a lawyer. She's not really fully in victory. The reasons why, to where even if she is seen, even if Denims, because she is lending her lawyers to help Frogan too. Uh, they're in a lawsuit against how you say it, a podcaster, a Jewish podcaster, Ethan Klein, right? Uh, and here's a bad. This is what I'm saying. It's a double-edged sword. Very bad spot for Denims for lending Frogan lawyers, to send help to Frogan. And here's why. Okay, I'm gonna read it the whole way because I searched it. Can so and so on, right? Yes, lending a lawyer to a friend can cause serious legal and ethical troubles. Even if you won your original lawsuit, a lawyer represents one specific client. Sharing that lawyer can create conflicts of interest or break rules. Now, if they see this because they saw she lost, Frogan lost, and you won, you're backing up Frogan by giving her some lawyers to help her. You're paying the lawyers that you had for yourself, Denims, to help a friend here. But you don't want to see yourselves as friends, right? You just see yourselves as companions, people who get along, not friends, right? If that's the case. But it don't matter. It's still going to be a bad direction no matter how you put it, even if you're not really looking like your friends, right? Okay, major risks of sharing a lawyer. The conflict of interest thing, right? A lawyer cannot help two people whose goals might clash. Your interests comes first. If your friend's case hurts you, the lawyer must drop one or both of you. So they could choose to drop both of you because you're going against the guy you decided to accept the lawsuit against. So if she loses, you lose two, even though you won. There's a reason why I'm saying this, okay? Loss of privacy, secret shared between you, your friend, and the lawyer might not stay private. Meaning now that information is public. Whatever you put the lawsuit for back at him, why you won, that could backfire. Okay? This can weaken legal protection to where Frogan don't have any protection. She has protection because of your lawyers, Denims, um, to where protection like attorneys' client privileges, meaning you lose all your privileges from the lawsuit, and you're just going to be considered criminals. By the way, unauthorized practices of law. A non-lawyer cannot act as a lawyer. I don't know if Denims is actually using an actual lawyer. If she's paying an actual lawyer, but if she's not paying an actual lawyer, that's it, right? But I'm sure she paid a lawyer, right? She's actually trying to do this in a clean way, but then do it dirty. Okay, why I say do it dirty is because she's helping Frogan by paying her own lawyers to help Frogan. Okay, that one's okay. We already done reading that one. We already understand what's there, right? Um, Fee and contract violation. Most legal services contracts state who the client is letting a friend use your time or access can breach your agreement with the attorney, meaning you only have so little time. So that means Frogan only has so little time with that lawyer. And that's a problem because if you only have a limited time for Frogan with that lawyer, yeah, if she loses by default, you lose as well. Well, if she loses by default, you're probably safe, right? Because some of that won't be able to be collected as private evidence. Now, the court may disqualify the lawyer from the friend's case. That's another double-edged sword, right? The lawyer can face punishment from the state bar association. You could lose your special privacy rights for past talks with your lawyer. And Denims, this is your lawyer. You're paying your own lawyer to also help her. Oh shoot, man. That's like you're losing everything. Are they sharing the same exact lawyer at the same time? No. If the lawyer is getting paid by your friend too, that's not a thing. Denims is paying that lawyer to help Frogan. Oh shoot. So yeah. You look it up, Denims. It won't do you any good. And the thing is, if you try to take down my channel, dude, here's the thing. I support the right political party, Democrats. That's what I also say. And when I put a video to put the truth on how I feel about what the things Hassan Piker try to make it look like he support. But he supports foreign law that don't do good. That is no good. And right now, the government officials from both all the Democratic side and the Republican side, this target on Hassan Piker as a criminal. Yeah. So if Democrats end up taking the House seats and end up being able to put themselves a president to help the United States recover, you and Frogan and Hassan Piker, man, when you guys get taken out, if one of you ban me, when you both, all three of you, get taken out of the United States, oh yeah, my channel and every person's channel that try to put the truth on you, any person on YouTube who try to put their feelings and the truth of what you do to their channel, you're fucked. And then, of course, the CEOs that exist now for Twitch and YouTube, I feel like YouTube is not as bad yet, but I have a feeling they're going to take down the YouTube's CEO and put a new one there to actually be able to secure it a little bit, not too much, right? To make it fair. And of course, Twitch will get another CEO to where now Hassan Piker, because he ain't going to be in this world, in this state, he ain't going to be in the U.S., he ain't going to be here in New York. He's going to be taken out. He's going to be put as an immigrant to where now he's considered a U.S. citizen, but it's false. He's not really a U.S. citizen, right? Because of the two parents, if his father and mother ain't really his blood father, he's not blood related to those two parents. And he was adopted? And the mother, what nationality was her? Oh, what was the father's nationality? Two different nationalities. And he is different from them too, because he is considered what? He puts himself as adopted, raised by two loving parents of different nationality, two different nationality. That don't make sense, man. That's a huge red flag of you saying that's how you became a citizen because your mother was running with you here to the United States for safe haven. Dude, you must be stupid if you think other Americans are stupid by you putting yourself as American, but you're not an American. Like you even support the terrorism against your own nationality, Hassan Piker. I don't mean to be kind of a jerk, but you are the jerk. You are the bigger one. And yeah, Denims, good luck. Because if Rogan loses, you still lose even though you won. Like, her loss is still going to carry over to you. Because they're going to see it as, this is stupid. This is a red flag. To where Ethan Klein, you're still going to have to owe Ethan Klein his money. Denims, you're fucked and Frogan's fucked. And who knows, maybe Hassan Piker would be considered tossed aside. Because I support the good things. I support Democratic Party, yes. I feel like Democrats do the better job compared to Republicans at this point. Because Republicans are just making money out of your own taxes. You pay rent for your house, you pay taxes for your house because you fully bought the house, and healthcare plans. You're paying taxes for your own health service. That money they're getting from that tax. They're getting Americans' taxpayer dollars. See, there was something that Asmongold was trying to put out in a way, but not really in the way people are putting it. Like Denims, Hassan Piker, Frogan, they don't see this. You have certain Americans that were arrested being registered as Americans, right? But they were arrested. They were criminals. Now these criminals get loose. And there's sometimes you have to make sacrifices. As much as people would hate to do making sacrifices, let's say this bad criminal person is holding the person hostage. Now, if you didn't shoot the person that is holding that hostage, and the thing is, this hostage is already in a very bad spot with the hostage. To prevent the criminal from going forward still, sometimes you have to make sacrifices, even if it's sacrifices you don't want to make. I mean, I know I never had to make sacrifices like that, but think about it. If you were in the military, which I have never been, but I'm seeing it this way, okay? You're a military soldier, a veteran, and let's say another country assassin that you're fighting this war against has your, I say, a comrade, okay? This person who is holding your own comrade as a hostage, if you only get, there's no way out of this. You can't really target the one. You're going to have to sacrifice by attacking the one to get rid of the other. That's why Americans are just people that take their oath seriously. They fight for the freedom and fight for their own family. If you didn't kill, like if I was the one who was being held hostage, and let's say my dad has no choice, I would have to take the blow, right? I would just have to say, do it. So that way you could take him down. You have to take me, right? That would be the honorable thing to do, right? Because you said to your father or your comrade, you have to shoot me so that way you could kill this asshole that is right behind me holding me. Even if that person who is your comrade don't want to, sometimes you have to make the hard decision. And I know when I see it this way and I think it this way and I feel it this way and I understand it this way, that person you care about, who is your friend and your companion and your comrade, right? It's either him or the person that he's going to shoot while holding you in hostage. You sacrifice yourself to protect others. So if I was a military soldier and I was being held hostage and the guy was putting a gun right up my head, but he's holding me from right behind me, what would have been the better option? Would it be I die and he dies, my own comrade? Or would it be me and the guy holding me hostage to where I end up being the one that died alongside him, the bad guy holding me? But I know this whole thing was about how Denims is going to lose, right? Because she's lending her own lawyer to help Frogan. But if you want to hear that stuff, when I end the stream, you could just rewind it and see what I said about that. But I also wanted to explain this, right? You, as a fellow American, you don't have to be a veteran. You could be an American who wants to help and protect someone who is a citizen like you. That's what Americans do. They have their oath to where they respect that oath by looking out for other Americans, right? But the problem is you're going to have other Americans that were put and registered from their record as criminals. Those criminals are let loose. That's what I'm also explaining here too. And that's why I'm putting the example for where someone like me, if I was a military soldier and I didn't have to be in war, I could be here in the US, in New York. I could be held hostage, right? A comrade would have to see me and he would have to make a decision to either save himself and still lose me and then let the guy flee, or shoot me to shoot him. So you have to sacrifice a comrade to take down the enemy that is holding the comrade hostage. Sometimes it can end up in a different way. The hostage that you become, you may not die. You may be lucky. That's just how you say it, Lady Luck treats, depending if you're lucky. Because you're not always going to die. Sometimes you may have a luck. You may have a second chance in the life. But like sometimes you are not lucky. You're either going to be lucky or unlucky. It's like when you play a game of chance with poker, right? But with this is a little bit more worse, right? Because you're bidding money to where in a way it just feels like you were held hostage while the other person was trying to help you and save you. But this is a financial thing, right? This is a financial damage. If you lose money, you lose everything, right? If you lose all your money, you lose all your shit. It's kind of like that when you're being held hostage by a criminal with a gun or a knife. It didn't have to be a gun, right? It could be a knife, and the knife is right behind me to where this guy, if he tries to save me, I'm going to be screwed regardless, right? Even with the gun, the enemy has the gun, regardless, I'm screwed, depending on what the decision my comrade makes, right? So it don't matter. Because I've never been to a war. I never had to been in front of someone with a gun in front of me, trying to aim at another person. But I still understand it. You don't have to experience it to understand it. You can see it and how it works. The whole problematic, the sacrificing. How does it work? Easy, right? If you think about it, medieval times, you have knights, right? But then you have an assassin that comes into your kingdom. You are the knight trying to protect your kingdom. even though it's one assassin, it don't have to be a lot. It could be just one assassin that just sneaks in and grabs you. You are the knight he grabs. And he don't have to attack you from the chest or the leg. He could attack you by slicing your throat, right? The other knight is seeing me being held, right? Hostage. What happens? You don't have enough knights guarding. You're the only knight guarding because all these other knights are forced to protect other spots in the kingdom. They can't be in the one spot if there's a lot of assassins out of your kingdom. This is the village. Your castle is in the middle, in the very back, near the wall, in the back. All these houses, all these cabins are round because the whole lining is a big giant square going one to where it leaves one opening. But sometimes an assassin can get through multiple openings. They don't have to rely on the front entrance. They could come over the wall. Now, what are you supposed to do then? Right? There's no way out. You have to be heavily guarded. Now, if you're not guarding all the other spots where these assassins can come through, then you only have everybody in front to where the back, the castle is vulnerable. Now, what happens if the castle is vulnerable? The king would be vulnerable, right? And I'm putting this as an example because this guy in the White House, who is the president, right, who actually wants people to think of him as a king. He wants Americans to think of him, I am the king of the United States. Oh boy. Oh brother. King? Wait a minute. We signed a treaty. The Americans signed a treaty way back. And this was during the UK time, right? Wow. Why did they sign this treaty? To prevent the conflict with other nations, meaning these other countries. But you're always going to have some of these bad leaders in those countries. One is in Israel, Netanyahu. The other is Putin, okay? And here's the thing. Beijing leader, they didn't care. They didn't think about helping Trump. They're actually helping each other, man. Think of it. This time and age, we have a more better bond than we did. But Trump, why did these other nations like Iran, Italy, why did they send their own people like agents to check up on the president of the United States and stood behind him on the stage? You had a lady who is an Italian. They say they put her as a minister, right? But that's just it's agents in disguise. But like, why did these agents have to stand behind Trump in a stage with his Republicans also in the back too? Well, they just wanted to know why the hell are we in a conflict? Why are we having to do this? Because we never agreed to this. He did, right? So when they checked what the hell, who was the part of this conflict, who was the one who caused it? Well, they saw it as Donald Trump. President Trump and his Republican Party that is still supporting him, man. They are going to be held accountable. It don't matter if that one Republican says, I can be free. Well, if he is free, he ain't really free. He is going to have a lot of privileges stripped, and he will be assigned a task that the other side of the government tells him to work on that task. So he won't be able to do anything else, or she will not be able to do anything else. You have Republicans of every gender, right? Just like we have Democrats of every gender and every American of every gender. Male, female, whatever, whatever. That's it. That's there. And that's there. Both parties were the same genders, right? Wrong. the Republicans, they want to keep themselves as just men. White men, we're in charge, right? Dude, no white American asked for this. No American asked for this. It's just the Republican Party that asked to do this. They wanted to do this, right? Even if they were able to do things without the permission of Congress. See, the way Congress works, right? They're the ones that says and gives the approval and say no. If it's not, we don't approve it, we don't approve it. You can't do it. Or if they approve it, then they can do it, right? So if Republicans get approval from Congress, because Supreme Court only gives certain things, like they'll charge you of crimes, criminal actions, or murder. That's another thing they do, right? And they're the ones that also help pass the bill, the different laws to make it accepted. But it has to get approved by Congress. So if Supreme Courts approved it, they have to also get it approved by Congress, right? The Democrats are the ones who are actually, how you say it, keeping it in check with Congress. They're the ones who are in Congress. Democrats have control over Congress, while Republicans have control of the Supreme Court. Now, if you only have the one that is approving it, but not the key side to approve it, because Congress is like the key. They're the ones who get to say whether it goes and get accepted or not, right? So what happened? Even, some of these Republicans also decide to say, we don't want to pass this one. Why? They know Trump is also trying to put more tariffs in. That was his whole plan. He's not just trying to put this conflict. He still wants to get tariffs through, but he also wants to make and change the law of birthright citizens. So if you are born here in the United States and your parent is a United States citizen, but they're from the other country, but they took their oath as a citizen, you as a child who is born in the state is not going to be put as a child who is a citizen in the U.S. from being born as a citizen. So, all those, Donald Trump is failing. Okay, if he's able to just be successful with the conflict, putting damages, and this relationship is not just against him, parts and parts of that trust is also on every Americans that we are being lost from Iran, right? And also trust lost from the Palestinians that are still being heavily protected. Like, who asked for this conflict, right? But, okay, I just want to say one more thing, Denims. You're screwed if Frogan loses this. Or if the court sees it as, this is playing unfair, and you're cheating. But I'm not saying it's not a game. I know it's not a game. I'm just putting in a funny joke, okay? Like, let's say if you're playing a game board, right? You went to this side and you weren't supposed to. You had to roll the dice. This is four stops up. You need to roll a 4. You didn't even roll the dice. You're cheating. That type of thing. But yeah. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one. And yeah, I'm actually starting to somewhat heal up. But